Dear children, I am going to teach lesson second in history, page number 11, Battle of Plassey, 1757. The Battle of Plassey was fought between the English and Sirajud-Dowlah, the Nawab of Bengal in 1757. On June 23, 1757, the two respective armies met at Plassey. The British force were led by Robert Clive. Mir Jafar, the commander-in-chief of Nawab, and large section of the Nawab's army did not take part in the battle. Jagat Seth, the richest banker of Bengal, also refused to help the Nawab. It was a decisive battle which had far-reaching consequences. The Nawab was defeated, captured and executed. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab. He was a mere puppet in the hands of the English, who became the virtual ruler of Bengal. The English got the right to free trade in Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, and got the territory of 24 Parganas. The sources of Bengal helped the English to defeat their European rivals. Thus, the Battle of Plassey laid the foundation of the British Empire in India and paved the way for British majesty over the Indian subcontinent. प्लासी के युद्ध के बाद भारत में अंग्रेजों के पैर चल गए, क्योंकि विजय हासिल कर ली थी. बैटल ऑफ बक्सर. मीर जाफर, द mere puppet in the hands of English. The responsibility of running the administration lay on his soldiers, but he had no power. The English charged him with neglect of administration and deposed him in 1760. His son-in-law Mir Qasim was made the Nawab of Bengal. He was an able, efficient and strong ruler. He formed an alliance with the Sirajud-Dowlah, the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam, the Mughal emperor. The Battle of Buxar was fought between the English and combined force of Mir Qasim, Shah Alam, or Sirajud-Dowlah. The combined armies of three clashed with the English at Buxar on October 22, 1764, where they were badly defeated. Historians have attached great importance to the Battle of Buxar. It was not merely the Nawab of Bengal who was defeated in this battle, but also the Mughal Emperor of India. It gave the English an opportunity to bring the northwestern frontier of the Suba under their control. Treaty of Allahabad. Clive entered into a treaty with the Nawab Sirajud-Dowlah, who surrendered Allahabad and Kara to the company and also agreed to pay 50 lakh rupees as war indemnity. Mir Qasim was deposed and Mir Jafar was made the Nawab once again. In 1765, Clive signed the Treaty of Allahabad with the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. By this treaty, Mughal Emperor was taken under the company's protection and was granted an annual pension of 26 lakh rupees in return for a fireman, which granted a company the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, now Odisha, in perpetuity. This treaty marked an end of the Nawab's authority in Bengal and led to the establishment of the dual government there. By this statement, the Nawab looked after the administration of law and order, whereas the company kept the charge of collecting the revenue in its own hand. In brief, the Nawab was given responsibility without any power, and the company enjoyed power without any responsibility. Growth of British influence. Warren Hastings was appointed as the governor of Bengal in 1772. He obliged the dual administration system and took over the entire administration of Bengal. He also stopped the emperor's annual grant. He also took away Allahabad and Kara from the emperor and sold these territories to the Nawab of Awadh because he wanted to make Awadh a strong buffer state between the company's territories and that of the Marathas. Mysore War. Lord Cornwallis consolidated the foundation led by his predecessor Hastings. He waged a war against Mysore where Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan and rising in power. By the time Cornwallis arrived in India, the first and second Anglo-Mysore War had already been fought. Tipu's policy of seeking help from the French and the Turks appeared too dangerous to British interests. When Tipu invaded the tiny kingdom of Travancore in 1789, Cornwallis retaliated, and this led to the Third Anglo-Mysore War. The Marathas and Nizam also joined this war on the side of the British. This war lasted for 2 years. It was difficult for Tipu to take on the combined force of his enemies. By the Treaty of Srirangapatnam, Tipu surrendered half of his territory to his enemies and paid £3 million as war compensation. He was also forced to accept subsidiary alliance, but he refused. He continued his efforts to modernize his army with the help of the French. This led to the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War in 1799. Tipu died fighting while defending his capital. A large portion of the kingdom of Mysore was merged with the British Empire. The conquest of Mysore was the most brilliant successes of the British power, in which every discipline of war and diplomacy the British proved themselves superior to the valiant rulers of Mysore. The British Empire now extended from one end of the Deccan to the other. Now, subsidiary alliance. Lord Wellesley, 1798-1805, the successor of Lord Cornwallis, came to India with the intention to transform the British Empire in India into the British Empire of India. To achieve his goal, he reshaped the policy of subsidiary alliance. The principles of this alliance were simple. The Indian rulers who were invited to join this alliance were expected not to fight or keep any contact with any other power without the permission of the British. To maintain internal peace and order in subsidiary state, the British would station an army under the control of the British generals. The Indian state would either surrender a portion of its territory to the company or would pay an annual amount. In return, the company would protect the subsidiary state against external invasion. The Nazi and the Nizam of Hyderabad was the first Indian power to accept the subsidiary alliance. Now, Anglo-Marathas war next day.